Ms. TV.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
You know what? Can I just say something?
you please do.
I like The Miz. I have been telling you that he's not as bad as you think. I have said that sometimes he's booked bad or with the wrong people, but if he's in the right situation, he's good. I have no defense for whatever this was.
Okay, I know what this was. And I'm not as down on him as you may have been about it because he gave it the old college try. Now, there's something to be said for realizing probably halfway through the act of something that it's fucking rotten. That you are literally squatting down and shitting a goddamn barbed wire wrapped football right in front of everybody. And still going through with it as best you can. His premise that I don't know whether this was one of the entertainment writers or whether this was, The Miz. He's been in movies and TV and commercials and, on the cover of fucking cereal boxes. He's got some ideas. Maybe he came up with this concept and he workshopped it with the writers or whatever. But I bet you a lot of people were convinced this is going to be the greatest performance piece that we've ever seen anybody do on a wrestling program. Because the idea was that he was going to bring out John Cena and not only interview John Cena, but he was going to fucking yell at John Cena and read John Cena the riot act and tell John Cena what was the matter with him and how to modify his behavior and how that he was the best one, blah, blah, blah. The problem was they didn't have John Cena. So what he did was, and also because, of course, this was the genius of this idea, Brian, in concept, in theory. It'll get heat on The Miz for being a heel because John Cena ain't there, but he's acting like he is. And a lot of people on Twitter were saying, Cornette, you got to treat The Miz same as you treat the other people that work with the Invisible Man. I will give Miz this. He didn't take any bumps for the Invisible Man. It was strictly a one-sided squash. And I can tolerate that.
The Invisible Man shoved him. That's not one-sided.
Well, he didn't take a bump for him. It could have turned the air conditioning on in the arena, and it could have, a strong wind.
Really, a strong breeze.
A strong breeze. Well, look at Miz. The state of him. He won a legal battle recently. He sued his body for non-support.
Oh, come on.
But basically, his story was he was robbed at Payback not only by L.A. Knight, but by John Cena, the crooked referee. So he introduced, I'm going to bring him out here and tell him what I think of him, John Cena. And the music plays, and the crowd goes batshit, and nobody comes out. And, of course, there's Michael Cole going, I can't see him. And one of the problems with this, among the many, was that they had the floor cameraman actually panning back and forth in the empty entranceway and then running down the aisle toward the ring like he normally does when Cena's doing his entrance, but of course there was nothing there. I understand the heel wanting to fuck with the people and tease they're going to see their favorite and then they don't, and he's going to run their favorite down. Did he pay the cameraman to be involved? Isn't the cameraman on the side of the promotion, which is supposed to be the good guys? That was a little odd. So they had the Miz TV set up with the chairs and etc. And he puts Cena in the chair and he talks to him. And he says, since the fans apparently can't see you, I'll interpret, or hear you, I'll interpret. And then
he did as good as he could with something that was terrible. I mean, this was like, Clint Eastwood talking to the Invisible Barack Obama.
The empty chair, yeah.
I mean, it was that. I mean, he did better than that. And that's actually maybe my only problem. Not my only problem, but that was one of my biggest problems. He acted the same way and sold the push and everything, same facial reactions from the Invisible Man than any of the actual opponents we've seen him in there with.
There was more fire. I think maybe he thought he might be able to whip the Invisible Man because there was more fire there. He was more aggressive. He had more bass in his voice. But no, I mean, he was trying to yell at John Cena at one point, then he was trying to talk to him again, then he was yelling at the fans. And that's why I say when he was yelling at the fans at some point, I could kind of, I believed based on being in positions like that where shit's going south in the ring, your butthole starts quivering, puckering a little bit. And I think he was trying to try a little too hard to make up for the fucking ground he wasn't gaining with this whole thing. And then he kicked John Cena out of his ring, but then he got mad that he wouldn't go. Then he slapped him. And then the USA Network was trying as hard as they could to bleep the shit out of holy shit. And then basically they got in a skirmish and Miz gave the Invisible Cena his full Nelson finish. And then at that point tried to get serious and challenge LA Knight to a rematch. And not good. Miz and LA Knight have both been pretty good for the past couple of weeks. He tried. This was going to be his, avant-garde Nosferatu classic, and it turned into Plan 9 from Outer Space.
The problem with avant-garde is very frequently the people who participate in that avant-garde a clue. Thank you.
You know the biggest problem, Brian,
I know the biggest problem.
Is that with this angle that they were doing here in the ring, where Miz was talking to a person that wasn't there, is because Miz was hearing him. Miz was hearing what he said, but the people couldn't hear what the Invisible Man was saying. And that took a lot of the fucking impact away from it. That took a lot of the oomph off of it, because there's Miz reacting to all these things that the people just can't hear. And you know why that was, don't you? Because when they got the close-up of Miz, did you see what was going on there?
What was going on where?
In Miz's ears.
In his ears? I didn't see anything going on. I didn't look for his ears, but what was going on?
They got a close-up, and there Miz had in his ears the incredible Raycon everyday wireless earbuds. And that's how he was able to hear what John Cena, the Invisible Man, was saying. Because Cena didn't have to fly all the way around the world from his movie set just to come right there to Charlotte, North Kakalaki, or wherever they were at. Instead, he could just talk into his Little Orphan Annie decoder ring, and it would be transmitted around the world.
Via telephone and telegraph.
Around the world, right to the Raycon wireless earbuds that were in the ears of the Miz in the ring live on Monday Night Raw. Because after all, Brian, that's what people listen to. Various things on the Raycons. You can listen to anything you want. That's what they say. You listen to music while you're cooking or flittering around the house. You can listen to podcasts and talk. You can listen to invisible people speaking to you that no one else can hear.
Well, they wouldn't actually be invisible. You'd be hearing a live person, but to the average person who doesn't know that you're hearing something, they would think it was an invisible person.
If you can only hear them, but you can't see them, aren't they invisible?
Are we invisible? People are listening to this podcast right now.
I can't see you. Can you see me?
I can't see you either.
Well, goddamn, there you go. Another case of there you are, folks. With the Raycon's everyday earbuds, they've got the optimized gel tips in a range of sizes, whether you've got small, teeny tiny little ear holes or even these big jug head. Maybe you got J.D. McFunko Pop size ears to go along with a preternaturally large head. They're going to be comfortable, and they won't fall out. You'll have to pry these things out with a crowbar before you'll get them loose. They will become loose when you're ready for them to be loose, and they'll come right out of your ear, no crowbar needed. Well, you just will them, because they're part of your head anyway, right? They're growing into your mind, so you just will them pop out, and they'll just pew.
Well, it's not that either. Right, it's just I'm ready to remove them from my ear. Look, I did it. It's that simple.
Huh, that sounds boring. You get 8 hours of playtime and 32 hours of battery life, though, and that's certainly not boring, because why, you could listen to War and Peace on an audiobook with that kind of battery life, and You get quality audio, folks, at half the price of other premium audio brands because Raycon's not going to bend you over a barrel and give it to you the hard way. They're going to be nice to you. They got the customizable sound profiles, 3 of them, the earbud tap functions. You can just tap that earbud, the sap starts running right out. Noise isolation mode, awareness mode, you will know everything there is to know in the universe. When you activate the awareness mode, it instantly taps into the microfilm at the Library of Congress, and instantly every piece of collected knowledge known to humanity is zapped right into your head.
That is
Most people
exactly
can't pick up on it.
that is exactly not what happens, but you will be aware of your surroundings.
And how dangerous they may or may not be. You get high fidelity audio, they're water and splash resistant. So if you dunk your head in the bathtub, well, I guess you'll still be playing a nice little jaunty tune when they carry you out with a sheet topped over you. But right now, folks, school is back in session. What does that have to do with anything? I'll tell you, because they're having their annual back to school sale over at Raycon. And now all the little crumb snatchers and the rugrats can go to school and brag about the great new everyday wireless earbuds that they've got. And they'll probably make such a big deal out of them that some of the tough kids in class will beat them up and steal them. And then you'll have to buy more.
No.
But because they're so cheap at half the price of other premium audio brands, you can get one for your kid. The kid can get beat up and robbed, and then you can get another set.
No, that's not the way it works. You can buy as many as you want for anyone you want, your whole family, all the kids in the neighborhood. But
nobody's got to get beat up.
There are no beatings attached to this. In fact, it may make you popular with the other kids if they see you got some really cool Raycon earbuds.
Well, you'd be walking down the hallway there in school after history class or down the aisle or whatever. You're going to be going, hey, look at me. I'm bopping to my own beat because I got the Raycon wireless earbuds. And, man, you'll look as stupid as Miz did when he was talking to an invisible son of a bitch that wasn't there. But you'll be happy because you're listening to your own soundtrack. Anyway, folks, again, back to school. Learn something. Go right now. Do not delay. Go to buyraycon, BUYRAYCON.com, buyraycon.com/JCE today. You're going to get 20% off site-wide plus free shipping. That means you get 1 pair, you get 5 pairs, you get something else. You get some rutabagas. You get a dozen kumquats, whatever they sell on this website. You're going to get 20% off and free shipping at buyraycon.com/JCE. So, and hey, here's something else to think about. If your kids get beat up in school for wearing these fine earbuds and they're taken advantage of by criminal elements, when they punch the kid in the side of the head, they're going to hurt their fist on these Raycons, just so you know.
It's not the way I would look at it, but Raycon, a fine earbud for music and audio fans of all ages.
And beatings.
And no beatings.
No beatings.
No fans of beatings and no actual beatings. But Raycon.
Not.
Can we somehow end this? Raycon! What's the promo code?
Buyraycon.com/JCE. Do not beat anyone.
That's
Except
right.
You'll never beat these prices. I'll tell you what, it's like a sore dick and a busted drum. You just can't beat it.
I don't know about that, but one thing you can't beat is WWE Raw, unless you're looking for entertainment or something.
You can't beat Raw for all your boredom needs.